a life. So, but your process is television, and those are incredibly short deadlines, and you have lots of on camera. How do you accommodate that consistently? It's one thing to do that in a feature film where you know you have an extraordinary timeline to do that and time to fix it. If you don't, if there's a problem with the miking, which happens, how do you address the needs of the show creatively and all of the on-camera and the realities of the scheduling and the budgets?
I think I should talk a little bit about the overall process we use in the show, and then that'll be part of it. I think people have a misconception when they think, like, how does the music get into the show? They imagine that there's this guy who's a music supervisor who's sitting in a room somewhere listening to music and going, oh, I like that, and I like that, and because I like it, we're going to put it in the show. And I mean, working with David Simon, it was the same thing on the Wire for the most part. We're trying to depict a real culture and a real world, and so that is the primary driving force between what music we use. On Treme, we're doing 10 episodes. There's probably between 200 and 300 pieces of music in the show. And basically every single piece of music that we're using in the show is something that you would have heard in that place at that time. So, it's what do Rebirth play on the street? What music was played in that particular second line? What is currently played? So that's the first thing that's driving the choices of the music. It's just looking at historically what the music was in that situation.
Do you find that it's scripted already, or do they just say, they kind of leave it open?
A great majority of music is in the script. When the script is first published, the music is already picked. And that's true with probably 90% of all of the live music, because we have to know in advance. Now, there are times where we don't get the script until 5 days before we start shooting. So we might have to, that does create, if you're talking about deadlines, that creates emergencies where you suddenly find out on Friday that as soon as next Wednesday we have to shoot some live music with the band, and so we have to make sure we clear that music. But so there's that.
When you have that situation, do you go back to maybe things you've pre-cleared or that you already have a sense will be clearable quickly? Because as time goes by...
By working with local musicians and having them involved with the show, you start to get a sense of what their catalog is and who owns it. I mean, another thing we do on the show is when we have musicians appearing on camera, we try and use music that they have written so that they will get paid. I mean, part of the reason, to go back to the very beginning, the first time I started thinking about doing a show with David Simon in New Orleans, we were working on The Wire, and shortly after the storm, we were just talking about New Orleans and the music, and if there was anything we could do. And you realise that when you're working on a TV show, you have this huge pile of cash that you're spending on music, and most of the time it's in most of the music business, that cash is just moving from one multinational corporation to another. It's like Time Warner is paying tens of thousands of dollars to Universal and to Sony, and it's like that. And we're looking at this let's try and use some music from New Orleans, and see if a little bit of money can trickle down. On season 4 and 5 of The Wire, we made some attempts to use maybe 10 or 15 pieces of music that were from New Orleans. Now, it's still, you have this idea, and it makes you feel good about yourself. Oh, I'm going to do something great for New Orleans. I'm going to put a Deacon John song into this episode, and then 2 or 3 years later, you meet Deacon John and you say, yeah, we put your song on the show. And he's like, what's The Wire? None of that money trickles down far enough to reach the artists.
Right.
And this is even true on Treme. I mean, there are times where there are local artists performing, and years and years ago, they sold all of their rights. And so, I don't know if everyone knows.
How does that complicate the process for you?
Well,
Or
it
does it?
actually does. I mean, it's much easier to pay Sony for a shoot point Crawford song than it is to go and find Mr. Crawford. You know, I mean, so it's not that it's complicated in terms of getting it done. What's complicated is getting the money to the people you want to get the money to. But that just speaks to the historical legacy of exploitation of musicians and just the way the music business works. It's not always exploitation. Sometimes people have made deals and they've got to pay them for it.
Right, and then they might have gotten paid on the front end, and they're now recouping, or yeah.
The thing I was going to say, I don't know if everyone realizes that when you license a piece of music to use, pre-recorded music to use it in a TV show, the performer of the music doesn't get paid anything. In fact, it's the writer of the music gets paid.
Did John Boutte get paid for things up?
John Boutte gets paid because he wrote the song, but not because he performed it. No one ever gets paid. If you take a piece of music that already exists, that's sitting on the shelf, and you want to license it to put it in a TV show, the performer doesn't get paid. They got paid when they performed the music. So someone else owns that music now. Who gets paid is the writer and the publisher. And the publisher is kind of, I mean, it's, to my mind, the publisher is almost this red herring. Like, what is it, the publisher? You know, what does that even mean anymore? It's just this piece of money that someone, these abstract rights that someone owns, and they're the ones who get paid.
It is possible if the performer also retains those rights. So if the performer actually does still own the master recording, there is that possibility, or if they have a deal that is structured, that they do see the license fee. It is possible, but especially with a lot of the majors, if they see it, it's probably a fraction of what the initial license fee was, if they see it.
And I mean, so just to you know, go over that once more. One of the things that we're trying to do on Treme is support the music community in New Orleans by getting musicians paid, and that's specifically an important part of our agenda. And we make creative choices based on that idea whenever we can. So if we're asking someone to come and be on the show, they get paid for their appearance and their performance. But we also try, if it works aesthetically, we'll try and choose a song that they wrote so they also get paid.
I think that's really important.